Alright guys, you've showed some interest in some reptile videos. Well, I am here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. Let's go in and learn something. Alright guys, I'm here with Chad Griffin, herpetologist and the owner of the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. Tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got started, and just give us the whole rundown.
Well, so Brad, check it out. I mean, reptiles are awesome. You know that, I know that.
Absolutely.
Okay, they're amazing animals, great for the environment. They're great for not only other species survivals, but they're also great for our survival. Snakes especially. A lot of the snakes that we have in North Carolina, let's use North Carolina, this is where we're at, they help keep diseases in check, like plague, typhoid fever, botulism, avian flu, rabies, all kinds of things. Snakes will eat a lot of these things that we have in the wild that actually carry diseases. So these animals are amazing. They're just so misunderstood. One of the reasons that I started in this professionally, I've always been in it since I was a kid, okay? I got to go with my grandparents, and they took me to Florida to one of the gator farms, and I got to hold this little baby alligator, and I got to put a snake around my neck and get my picture taken as just a little tyke, and I fell in love. All right, I fell absolutely in love with reptiles, even more then. And of course, I've always loved cobras. I mean, who doesn't like a majestic cobra standing up? And of course, the king cobra that we have out there, and all the other cobras that we have, they're so cool. And so my love for cobras came from just being able to watch this thing stand up, and he stands up so majestically, and flex his muscles a little bit. And getting started into this, it started as the CCSB Reptile Rescue years and years ago. Most people ask me why I started the medical center, and it's for my love of hard-shelled animals. I love turtles, I love tortoises. And I got tired of seeing scumbags hitting them in the road, and not very many people knew how to fix them. We did. And so I started the medical side of things due to having so many turtles being brought into us, and we would go through and 3D graft them or puzzle piece them or whatever the case may be. Unfortunately some don't make it. I mean, we know this. This is the law of nature. It's the rule of nature that some things just don't survive. But by and large, there was just a lot of people that just didn't know how to fix it. And vets, Lord have mercy, we can discuss vets at another point in time, but it was aggravating. To me, it was aggravating seeing something suffer, seeing a species of animal that I cared about not really having any good advocates. Now, of course, you got NC State now that has the turtle team. They come up over the last few years. We've been teaching vets and do consult work for vets for years all over the country. I mean, we go teach vets. We teach a lot of vet interns. We, as of right now, are the largest medical center in the U.S. for reptiles only, reptile specific. And that was the reason that I started the medical side of things, is because I actually love seeing these animals be fixed back up and come back to health. There is an awesome sense of responsibility there that we have to our environment and to nature to try and give it help as much as we can. Now, reptiles don't need our help, they need our absence. Animals and nature don't need our help, they need our absence. But when we start mixing humans and animals together, and you got them getting hit in the street, and you got dogs taking over, and and taking the animals and things like that, that's where they need our help. That's where the whole medical side of the thing come in. Now, the Kernersville Reptile Zoo here in Medical Center, we opened the actual facility almost 3 years ago now, and we started it because we just wanted there to be a place that was reptile specific and educational. The town of Kernersville has been very welcoming to us. They've been awesome. They have seemed to enjoyed it, and parts of the town wanted us here before we came here, because it's great for tourism. I mean, it's great of course, for the town. Gives them something that's educational, a little bit different than a couple of the museums and science centers that we have here in the Piedmont Triad area. It's a little bit different. We have animals that they're just not going to have. We're only one of 2 places that's even FDA licensed to import antivenom into North Carolina because of what we do, and I have the only training course of its kind. It's not the only one, but it's the only one of its kind on the Eastern Seaboard, where law enforcement and zoo staff and vet staff and science centers and private hobbyists will come and take this course. that was one of the main reasons why we ended up dealing with, of course, the anti-venom was due to all of the teaching, training, filming, things that we do. Of course, for folks like yourself, and then for our YouTube channel, for our production show, and for anything else that we do when it comes to getting people hands-on with these animals so they learn how to do what they're doing, or if other facilities have an injury, then we can try and help make that available for quicker medical care as well. But the zoo itself, we've got so many cool things here. We've got as far as I know, now that the Serpentarium in Wilmington was closed down, we've got the only exhibited king cobra, Solomon. He's about 12 foot. What we're standing in right now, to my knowledge, is the only indoor tropical rainforest of its kind in the state of North Carolina. We have, of course, the tortoises. We have tree frogs. Chameleons are running around in here. I mean, it's not a very big tropical rainforest, but it is incredibly cool nonetheless. And we've had so much fun designing and building, and we're still adding. And it can drive me crazy trying to deal with a living ecosystem in many different ways. Because I'm not nature, so I'm having to play with it. But this is what I love. This is where I'm at home. We've got monitors, and we've got dart frogs, and we've got all kinds of different venomous snakes like gaboons and rattlesnakes and other species of cobras, and all the stuff that we do is centered around the education and conservation of reptiles. That's the way it's always been. Everything we do is based on education and based on being able to give the next generations something to enjoy. But the thing is it has to be proper education. It's not going out and acting stupid or going out and doing something dumb just to get a bunch of views. That doesn't help the species at all. What that does is it hurts the species. Because you have somebody going and he's playing with his king cobra, that's just going to encourage somebody else to do it, and they end up getting nailed and getting killed. Well, then now our trade, the politicians start looking at, oh, we don't need this, we don't need that.
So it makes all of us look bad.
It makes everybody look bad. And I mean, to a sense, in a training setting, like when we're teaching, when we're working on hands-on day with folks that's doing the hands-on with the cobras and the rattlesnakes and the different things, it's a little bit different because we're doing it with a purpose. No, nobody's ever been hit, thankfully. And I intend to try and keep it that way as best as I can. Nobody's ever been nailed, but it's a little bit different in training versus I just want to look cool on TV, just holding this big king cobra doing something like that. Because anybody that really is a true professional industry like myself and other folks is going to look at that as just like, you're an idiot. You really are. You're an idiot. You're not impressing me at all because I can handle a ball python the same as I can handle a king cobra. I can handle my Burmese pythons that I breed the same as I can handle a gaboon viper. The difference is one can kill me. Well, the Burmese probably could from squeezing. I mean, well, at least put it in perspective. But they don't have the fangs. They're not going to inject me with venom. And yes, I love my venomous snakes. Don't get me wrong. Look, I absolutely love them. They're a lot of fun to work with. But there's a difference between working with them and just being plain out stupid just because you want to get a whole bunch of popularity or views, because that popularity is going to end very quickly. When it's education, education sticks. Education stays. Education is longer than just one generation. Education keeps going.
And that's the problem when you've got misinformation that's put out there, then the stigmas that reptiles have, and especially snakes, then it just perpetuates itself.
It does, and stupidity begets stupidity. And like with our YouTube channel, I know you said you had watched the videos, and I'm not going to repeat anything you said because it's not on me to say that we have good videos or we don't. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. If you promote it that way, you promote it that way. But with our videos, it's meant to put aside those stigmas. It's meant to put aside and you'll see it a lot, and I say it a lot, these idiot vets, the idiot Facebook forums, all this other stuff. Vets are out there charging this. They need to stick to the dogs and cats. If they're going to specialize in a certain animal, they need to specialize in a certain animal. They don't need to charge a bunch of money for, well, we think it's, let's try. Well, we think it's, let's try. I don't play that crap, and I don't appreciate that crap because it costs people money, hard-earned money, to go in and have a vet tell you, well, we think it's, let's try this, this, and this, and a little bit later, or they end up calling me and I tell them to do this and this, and it fixes the problem right up, and it could have saved them a crap load of money. It's about having areas of expertise. I don't talk about dogs and cats. I don't talk about birds. I mean, I know how well they feed some of my animals, but not the dogs and cats. But you've got like chickens, and you've got guinea pigs, and you've got primates, and you've got mammals. There should be a a area that you expertise in, you know, and most of your veterinary practices should be dogs and cats. That's what the original creation was for, or farm animals, you know, livestock. And so, you know, some are starting to actually become some exotic specialists, and that's good. Over the last few years, there have been such breakthroughs in medical science when it comes to reptiles. We have created some, other people have created some. There have been changes in things. We have learned certain treatments not to do with you know, with certain reptiles that was okay, or they're like, well, this will work in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Just like, no, we don't want to do that. And here's why, and why. But with that being said, there's so much misinformation out there online, because I mean, think about Wikipedia. Anybody can add information to Wikipedia. Anybody can put up on Google, or you can put up this little website, hey, I got a bearded dragon, here's what I did, or hey, here's this, or hey, here's that, and it's like, congratulations, you did it. I mean, that's something maybe to keep in mind, but it's like different ideals of, let's use bearded dragons for example. Okay, bearded dragons. You'll see a lot of these hardcore bearded dragon forms. You can't keep them on sand. Can't keep them on sand. What do you think they're on the desert, moron? They're on sand. All right, it's how you keep them on that sand that matters. Well, you can't do this. You have to, when we look at things scientifically, as being in the scientific field, when we look at it scientifically, how does it live in the wild? If we create its natural habitat, that's giving it the best shot. Most of the time when we create habitats, especially as pet owners, we create it how we want it to look cool. We want it to look showy, we want it to look cool. They can, but it has to fit the format of where they come from. And that's where you end up with a lot of this misinformation online. Oh, well, you can't do this. Oh, well, you can do this. Oh, well, you shouldn't do this. And a lot of the times those are totally wrong, because what you're giving is what worked for that particular situation, and most of the time it's a totally inaccurate setup to begin with. So that's where our YouTube channel kind of comes in, and what we do just on the channel itself is trying to give scientific fact. It's not about my opinion. It's not about my son's opinions. It's not about my wife's opinion. It's not about any of my guys' opinions. It's about fact. Do this. Don't do this. If this doesn't work, then we'll take a look at he said, she said kind of thing.
And husbandry in itself is a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
You get people saying, nope, there's this care sheet, there's this one, you need to use this substrate, not the, come on.
Mm-hmm. Husbandry is so much of a hot topic that, medically speaking, when we're teaching, especially actual veterinary practices and vet techs, because your vets don't take time to actually talk to people. They go in, all right, what you got going on? Okay, so you got this going on, so they're going to go around the corner. Most of the time they're going to go around the corner, look in a book, or they're going to look on Google. I've seen it happen way too many times. It's hilarious. And they're going to be like, okay, so this is what it says, this is what this book says to do, so go back around the corner, here's what we're going to do. The problem is 9 times out of 10 with most of your issues, yes, the issue has to be dealt with, mouth rot, scale rot, shell rot, respiratory infection, doesn't matter what the deal is. It has to be dealt with. But 95% of the time, it's habitat related that caused that problem. So it's improper husbandry, like you said. And so what we will do is take the time to actually talk to them. And these guys probably get so tired of hearing it. Somebody calls me up, my bearded dragon's not eating. The first thing I ask, what's the temperature in your habitat and how's the habitat set up? That's the first things I ask. 9 times out of 10, temperature's wrong and the habitat's wrong.
If your animal's stressed, they're not going to eat.
Exactly. Exactly. And some stress more than others. Take chameleons, for example. Chameleons are so high stress, and if they're not just pristine, you're going to be lucky to even have them survive several weeks, much less months. So the habitat, and when it comes down to these animals, the habitat is key. And it's also key to survival. It's also key to longevity of life.
Go ahead and get a little bit of information of what you do in your medical facility.
Okay. We do, okay, so here at the actual, the medical center, we can do anything from just small treatments up to major surgeries. Okay, so we do it all. We teach it all. The zoo itself is, of course, an open to the public facility. We even have a storefront. I mean, we'll sell reptiles, amphibians, spiders, scorpions. I mean, we can get any kind of animal on the planet. I have sold a ringtail lemur to somebody before. So I mean, as long as it's legal for them to own and they've got at least a decent, a decent habitat or something like that, we can make animals available to people, and we do. With a lot of the animals that we have here, ball pythons, bearded dragons, the simple things that just get turned over to us just on the regular, day after day, we will set them up with the animal and the complete habitat if they want. If they already have the habitat, fine, and of course we can just send them home with the animal. But if they don't have the habitat, then we will set them up physically a complete habitat. Just include the dragon in there, or the ball python in there, or the milk snake, or whatever the case may be, and and we'll just go from there and just send them home with everything. All they got to do is just set it up and put it in place. And we physically decorate it for them. So I mean, literally, they just have to set it in place, fill it with water dish. So we try and make life easy, but then we know that the habitat is set up the way that it's supposed to. You have exactly what you need. You do this, this, and this, and you're going to have success. So.
Right. And your breeding programs. You breed all kinds of animals here. You breed venomous, non-venomous. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, my breeding program, my love is Burmese pythons. I love me some big albino Burms. I've got a bunch of them. That's one of my niches. I do breed monocle cobras, breed albino monocle cobras, and gaboon vipers. I don't breed many of them. The venomous market is not like what it used to be because of walls and things that's getting hounded and hit and all that other stuff. But I do breed a few venomous. My oldest, he breeds blood pythons. Let's see, what else? Boas. We do breed some boa constrictors, hypos, sunglows, albinos. I'm an albino nut, so I love albinos and leucistic stuff. We, of course, like most people, I had like 123 ball pythons that we were breeding, and of course everybody and their mama and grandmama too breeds ball pythons, so I'm down to like 8 breeding ball pythons. I just do the blue-eyed Lucies and bananas, and just just something that I personally like. Because I can buy them cheaper than I can breed them anymore. It's just the ball python market is ridiculous. Ball pythons and sulcata tortoises. I've got a little, I say a little herd. I've got 2 males, 2 females, not including Fritz out here, that are our personal ones. And every once in a while they'll produce eggs. When they do, they do. It's cool. We enjoy the baby turtles. When they don't, it's fine. No harm, no foul. But every couple of years we'll have, we may have like 2 years in a row where they'll give us eggs, and they may skip a year and they don't do, they don't produce eggs, or maybe 2 years and they don't produce eggs. But the tortoises, we've cut back on a lot of our personal stuff because the zoo and the medical center does take up so much of our time. We breed feeders, mass amounts of feeders. We sell feeders here for insect feeders, superworms, dubia roaches, rats. We do sell rabbit feeders. Those are frozen; those aren't alive. But so we have so many different doggone things going on that it's hard to concentrate on one or the other. So we've dialed back on a lot of our personal animal breeding stuff because the zoo does take up a lot of the time. This place right here is very important to us because this is the education. This is where people can come and see things that most of them only ever seen on a TV screen.
I know whenever I first walked in and walked up to the counter and saw the copperheads in the enclosure right there, I was like, this is a place for you.
Right? The reason we do the copperheads out there is the copperhead in the heart of the Piedmont Triad, Winston, Greensboro, High Point. Of course, Kernersville is centered right in between those 3. In the heart of the Piedmont Triad, that's all we have. No, we do not have the cottonmouths. Every once in a while, you may see a cottonmouth in kind of the outskirts of that area, but it's only every once in a while. Now, Burlington and Salisbury and the Uwharrie National Forest, yes, they do have the cottonmouths and stuff there. But here in the heart of the Piedmont Triad, we only have the copperhead. We do have the timbers in the Hanging Rock and outlying areas in Forsyth County, right here in the lower Roll Hall, Germington area. They have been known to be down there a little bit. But so instead of making everybody come into the zoo to literally see everything, we wanted to at least put the copperhead out there. That way, if you're not going to come through the zoo, then you can at least see what the copperhead looks like. I mean, we have that on our YouTube channel as well, how to identify copperheads in 1 minute, fail-proof, kind of easy thing. But for folks that maybe not necessarily don't subscribe to YouTube or they're not watching it, we have that one out there. And yeah, there's some beautiful copperheads. There's one that's really, really pretty. And the copperhead on the countertop, and we have, of course, the skulls of different crocodilian from years past, and we try and make it to where it's fun and enjoyable. I mean, you can see all kinds of different stuff. We've got Fritz. Fritz survived a house fire. We did all the medical work on him, and he we kept him when we were done with him. and he was messed up big time. And so we let people hand feed him, so they come in. There's all kinds of interactions here at the zoo. You can take pictures with alligators, with snakes. You can hand feed Fritz, the big 200-pound sulcata tortoise. I mean, it's
Big boy.
He's a big boy. Oh yeah, he's a big one. He loves human attention though. So he's gotten so used to people coming in on a day-to-day basis and just talking to him and interacting with him, and he absolutely loves it. He'll make tracks on days. It's funny, on days when we don't have that many people come through, you can see this long string in his pen of mulch that's bulged up because he's been making tracks around the outside, just continually walking, because he's had no interaction. Because we're busy. I mean, you know, we're still cleaning and working and dealing with other animals and stuff, and so we'll try and go speak to him and at least give him a little bit of interaction on those days. But yeah, he's a big boy. And we do have the large constrictors. We have the small constrictors, lizards, turtles, tortoises. We got all kinds of stuff. So,
Well, as he mentioned, Reptile Rangers is their YouTube channel. Go over there and check that out. I'm telling you, these guys, they know exactly what they're talking about, and the information that they put out there is perfect. It's very valuable. You're going to learn something, and it's entertaining.
well, for you guys that follow this man right here, make sure to keep following, because he's going to be getting you some really good information, okay? Come see us, the Kernersville Reptile Zoo, 821 South Main Street, Kernersville. For his love of education of reptiles, his love of reptiles, I hope that we get to work with him again, because this is a lot of fun. We want people that actually have a love for these animals and want to give a true education, want people to learn, want people to grow. We want the next generations to be able to take up our chain and take up our ball whenever we're not doing this anymore or we're not able to do this anymore. These animals are really, really important to our environment. Not only is it really cool to see, but there is method and purpose behind the madness. These animals are great for the environment, and we appreciate you watching us, and we appreciate Brad giving us the opportunity
Absolutely.
to talk to you guys, his subscribers, his viewers, and we look forward to seeing you again.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
And now I think it's time to give the guys
Absolutely.
a look around. Let's see some of the cool reptiles you've got.
Let's go have some
It's
fun.
one of the bigger crocodilians they have. This is a spectacled caiman. Look at that. All right, this is Balin. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got there?
This is a alligator, and alligators have round snouts. As you can see, round is an alligator and pointy is a crocodile. He's a fun little lizard.
And what do they eat?
Rats.
Excellent.
But when they're big enough, they can eat like little goats and stuff like that. Just depends on how big they get.
Okay. And speaking of big enough, do you know how big they usually get?
These guys can get 15 to 16 feet.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We've got a beautiful red iguana. All right, Sebastian, what do you got going on there?
Today we gotta clean the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. Gotta clean out his pen. We come in this morning, he left us a few presents, so we gotta pull him out and clean his tank out.
Alright, so Sebastian here is looking through snake crap for hidden treasure. Sometimes we'll find snake fangs. Yeah, kind of like this right here. Yeah, with the gaboons, most of your vipers. Really cool.
That is awesome.
You get down close enough, you can see where the ejection point for the hypodermic needle essentially there is. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. So yeah, it's not very often you play in crap for any reason, but yeah, he's playing in snake crap to find things.
well worth it to me.
Absolutely. Especially when we find some of the big gaboon fangs.
I imagine so. We got a Western Diamondback. That's the one you just saw Sebastian working with. That's a big boy. Look at this beautiful, beautiful gaboon viper. And I can't stop staring at this. Absolutely beautiful. There's another angle. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous Egyptian cobra. This is a female gaboon. She is gorgeous. Look at that coloration. Natural camouflage. Uncle Sam can't do it like that. We've got a snouted cobra here. Beautiful. Down here we've got a timber rattlesnake, often called the canebrake rattlesnake. Very beautiful. It's got the chevrons going all the way around, all the way down the body, like stripes. Awesome, awesome animal. Got a forest cobra. The coloration on him is awesome. And look at the shiny scales. Looks like he's just been polished. Inside this enclosure, we've got an almost 13-foot king cobra. Tip of his tail right there. Look at that. There he goes. That is a big boy.
Serious injury or even death. We train professionals how to capture these animals if they can happen. Look, there is no guarantee, and there will always be risk.
Here's one of the really cool things about cobras though. Their vision is based off of movement, so you can see each time I put my head to one side or the other, he's kind of following that side. And so if everything gets still, I'm just a fixture in the background. But as long as I'm moving, he's staying dead focused on me. These animals are insanely intelligent too, that's no doubt.
And normally whenever a cobra strikes, They do strike in a downward motion, correct?
Correct. It's out and down. Whenever they're like this, they actually weaken their ability to be able to defend themselves. When they're down, laying on the ground, they can strike in any direction. But in this particular case, he can only strike out and down. If he wants to strike up, he actually has to lean back so that he can go up at it. And he cannot easily strike side to side because now he's so far up, he would have to physically turn and then strike. But yeah.
And they can actually stand up, what is it, a third of their body length?
Correct. This guy right here, considering he's 12 and about 3/4 foot, he can stand up right at 4.5 to 5 feet. So whenever they're 16 feet at full grown size, they can stand a grown man and look him eye to eye.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
And out and down would be a bad situation in that.
Fortunately, most of your cobras tend to bluff strike. They'll do what's called nose nudging. You've seen him do it there in the video, when he did it towards the window. But some of them will not. This particular king, he doesn't nose nudge. If you watch it close enough, you'll actually see that mouth come open when he does it. But a lot of the cobras that we have, they'll do a nose bump just to give warning. Because again, we use this analogy all the time. In the animal kingdom, you know, this particular snake, even picking a fight on somebody like myself at my size, is futile. That's like me going up and punching a rhinoceros in the face. You know, if I go hit a rhino, it's not going to do anything. It does no good. The venom is not meant to be a defensive weapon. It's not a bullet. It's not going to stop you instantly. Even the black mamas and the taipans is not a fast thing. I mean, yes, it's fast by comparison, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, but it's still not fast. It still gives you time to kill the animal itself. It's not meant to be that defensive weapon.
There you have it, guys. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got a good look around, and I hope you stop by and see Chad and his family and his family of reptiles. And I appreciate you having me up here.
Very welcome. I appreciate you coming by.
It
Had
was
a blast.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. Hope you come back.
I'll be back.
We'll have all kinds of stuff even more then.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you guys watching. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Since you're down there, you might as well subscribe. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Take it easy.